Have you ever heard a story so crazy you couldn't believe it was real? Well, today we're diving into one of Hollywood's darkest and most persistent rumors. The idea that stars who crossed the wrong people were literally buried alive. Buried alive? It sounds like something straight out of a horror movie, but for decades, whispers of this terrifying fate have echoed through the halls of fame. We're going to separate fact from fiction and explore the chilling stories that gave birth to this myth. Is there any truth to it, or is it just the most extreme urban legend Tinseltown has ever produced? We're about to find out. We're not just talking about old-timey gossip. We're talking about cases that are still debated today. We've spent weeks digging through archives, old newspaper clippings, and police reports to bring you the closest thing to the truth you can find. I've even brought in experts to look at the evidence with us. First up, we have the tragic case of Thelma Todd, one of the biggest comedy stars of the 1930s. They called her the Ice Cream Blonde. She starred alongside Marx Brothers, Laurel and Hardy. On the morning of December 16, 1935, she was found dead in her own car, inside a garage owned by her lover's ex-wife. The official cause of death was ruled as accidental carbon monoxide poisoning. It seemed like a tragic open and shut case. But the more you look into it, the more questions pop up, and that's where things get really crazy. The official story just doesn't add up. Thelma was last seen at a party. She was reportedly in a great mood. She had a heated argument with her ex-husband over the phone, but friends said she seemed fine afterwards. She was dropped off at her home around 3 o'clock in the morning, but her body was found in a garage a quarter-mile up a steep hill from her restaurant, Thelma Todd's Sidewalk Cafe. Why would she walk all that way, in high heels and a fancy gown, just to sit in a car and turn it on? It just doesn't make sense. This is where the rumors about organized crime come roaring in. Thelma's popular restaurant was located on the coast, a prime spot for illegal gambling operations, which were often run by the mob. One theory: Lucky Luciano wanted a casino on her third floor, using her celebrity as a front. But Thelma was a smart, tough businesswoman. She repeatedly and firmly told him no. Imagine being a massive star and having one of the most dangerous men in the country trying to strong-arm you. According to the rumors, his men came to persuade her. They weren't necessarily supposed to kill her, but things got out of hand. Some witnesses claimed they heard a woman screaming near where she was found. The autopsy had strange details: a bruised lip, a chipped tooth, and marks on her throat, suggesting a struggle. Not fatal injuries, but they pointed to violence. Could these be signs she was forcefully shoved into the car? The ignition was on, gas at a quarter, battery not dead, and the engine was cold, casting doubt on accidental poisoning. This fueled belief she was attacked elsewhere, then placed in the car to stage an accident or suicide. Police were criticized, seemingly rushing to close the case as an accident. Key witnesses allegedly ignored. Evidence dismissed. Was it incompetence or a cover-up? Her ex, Pat DeChico, had a violent temper and mob ties. A stormy relationship. A huge fight the night she died. A beloved star. An official story full of holes. A compelling, though unproven, Luciano theory. The grand jury left it ambiguous. The truth was likely buried with her. Now let's go back even further. To the silent film era. To a murder that rocked Hollywood and remains unsolved. We're talking about the killing of William Desmond Taylor, one of the most successful directors of his time, president of the Motion Picture Directors Association. On February 1, 1922, he was found shot in the back inside his Los Angeles bungalow. This was cold-blooded murder. Before police arrived, studio executives and actors swarmed the bungalow, removing love letters, illegal substances, who knows what else. By the time investigators arrived, the scene was hopelessly contaminated. Evidence tampered with, crucial clues lost. The studio cover-up is a huge reason the case was never solved. Image over justice in an era already battling scandal. At the top of the list, Mary Miles Minter, deeply in love. Her letters were found in his home. Mabel Normand, last to see him alive. Rumored addiction struggles. Then the story turns to the underworld. Taylor had a secret past. William Cunningham Dean Tanner. He abandoned a wife and daughter, reinventing himself in California. One compelling theory: blackmail over his identity. A deal gone wrong turned deadly. Another theory: drugs. Maybe Taylor confronted suppliers, motive to silence him. No murder weapon, missing witnesses, contaminated scene. Police had little to go on. The press turned it into a circus. In 1964, director King Vidor claimed Minter's mother confessed, but it was third-hand and unprovable. Another layer of myth. A perfect storm. Secret past. Compromise scene. Studios protecting image. Organized crime theories. Plausible but unproven. Bootlegging, illegal gambling, drug trafficking. Crime thrived. Yet no proof links his murder to a specific group. The trail went cold thanks to interference. The cover-up was almost as big a crime. A century of theories festered. Truth sacrificed for appearances. Only speculation remains. Our final case. The death of George Reeves, TV's Superman of the 1950s. On June 16, 1959, he was found dead in his bedroom from a single gunshot wound to the head. Police quickly ruled it a suicide, but for many, including his mother, that never felt right. Whispers of powerful people and the mob surfaced. Official story. Despondent over a stalled, typecast career, he shot himself in front of his fiancée and houseguests, reportedly drunk and depressed. But guests, including Leonore Lemon, didn't call police for almost an hour. They claimed drunken hysteria. Suspicious. The gun was found between his feet. No fingerprints, not even his. Gunpowder tests botched. 2 extra bullet holes in the floor. Lemon said she fired earlier. Alternate theory. Tony Mannix, Reeves's longtime affair, was married to Eddie Mannix, MGM's feared fixer with deep mob connections. She reportedly doted on him, buying a house, a car, funding his lifestyle. Just before his death, Reeves broke off the affair and got engaged to Leonore Lemon, devastating Tony. Perhaps Eddie decided Reeves went too far. Humiliating a fixer with mob ties was a death sentence. In this version, Eddie used connections to send a message. A hitman killed Reeves and staged a suicide, explaining no prints, the delay, and the scene's strangeness. His power could steer the investigation toward a quick suicide ruling. Some claim Tony confessed to a priest that Eddie had him murdered, hearsay and unprovable, but it fuels the legend. Another theory points to Leonore, beneficiary, erratic that night, and the unlikely story of firing shots into the floor earlier. Could she have pulled the trigger in a drunken rage, then covered it up with friends? The LAPD then was notoriously corrupt. Mannix's influence could easily have shaped the outcome. We must be clear, the mob link is speculative, but Mannix's real power and documented mob connections keep the theory alive. Official ruling, suicide. Yet why no fingerprints? Why the long delay? Why extra bullet holes? The curse of Superman is a myth, but in Reeves's case, the curse may have had a more human, sinister name. If it was suicide, it's a man crushed by the role that made him famous. If it was murder, it's a man who paid for love, victim of a system designed to protect the powerful. The case is closed, but a mob-connected hit remains a terrifying theory that refuses to die. So, after looking at the mysterious deaths, what have we learned? Thelma Todd, William Desmond Taylor, George Reeves, evidence boards, threads. The story ties together here. We've seen Hollywood's dark underbelly. In each case, official stories left unanswered questions, filled by rumors of conspiracy, cover-ups, and organized crime. Literal, buried alive? No. But the truth itself can be buried by power, fear, and influence. Thank you so much for watching. If you have your own theories, drop them in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives. We'll see you in the next video.